Hi everybody, Dan Illman here with some exciting news. DRF Formulator, the gold standard in past performance information, is now free, exclusively on DRF Bets. Join DRF Bets with the promo code WINNING, get a $250 first deposit match bonus, a $10 free bet, and free Formulator already uploaded to your account. Access Formulator's premium features, including sortable trainer stats, race replays, personalized trip notes, and lots more. Free Formulator, exclusively on DRF Bets. Hi everybody, Dan Illman, Mike Beer. The DRF race of the day for Saturday, January the 29th is a race we've been waiting for since the Breeders' Cup. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 1 $3 million Pegasus World Cup, one of, I believe, 7 graded stakes at Gulfstream Park on Saturday. You can download free Formulator past performances for the 9 Furlong World Cup on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. When you've made your picks, you can play this race and the entire Superstar card at Gulfstream on Saturday with your DRF Bets account. You've got Knicks Go, the Breeders' Cup Classic winner. You've got the 4 Life is Good, the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner. And as you see on the morning line, they seem to tower over their competition.
They certainly do. Yeah, it feels like ever since those Breeders' Cup wins by these horses, Dan, they were on that collision course for this Pegasus World Cup. But just because it's horse racing, I feel like you just sort of expected one of them not to show up here. But it seems like they're both going to make the gate. This is a very intriguing matchup.
A fascinating tactical matchup as well. Let's throw up the Timeform US Pace Projector. Knicks Go is a confirmed front runner. Life is Good looks like a confirmed front runner. Timeform US believes that Life is Good is faster. You will knock me over with a feather if Knicks Go is not in front going into the first turn in the Pegasus World Cup, barring a disastrous break. If this is his last start and he's going out on his shield, isn't he?
I feel like he probably is. I mean, I can't imagine that Joel Rosario is going to give anything away on this horse. I think, his connections know by now that he's just a horse who has to be on the lead to be effective. That doesn't mean that he's faster than Life is Good early, Dan. And Life is Good is going as well. It'll be interesting to see how quickly they hook up, because they are going to hook up in this race.
He has won 8 of his last 10 starts as Knicks Go, including last year's Pegasus World Cup, including the Whitney in Saratoga, and including this race, the Breeders' Cup Classic, which will likely seal 2020 Horse of the Year honors for the Brad Cox-trained Maryland bred. He went right to the front in this race. I thought he got a nice breather on the backstretch. Rosario took him off the rail into the stretch, and he keeps on going, and he beat some good horses in this race. Medina Spirit, Hot Rod Charlie, Essential Quality. The young'uns, they took a shot at Knicks Go, but the experienced runner had the edge.
Yeah, listen, it wasn't much of a Breeders' Cup Classic. He beat some okay 3-year-olds. They just turned this horse loose early. It felt like nobody wanted to take him on. And Knicks Go's proven more than once that if you turn him loose on the lead, you're probably not going to beat him. To me, he just had all the best of it last time, and he did what he was supposed to do. I did like the way he finished the race off, though. He obviously has that the Whitney 2 starts prior to that. I thought that was a good performance as well. Are there some things that concern you about this horse? To me, there certainly are, Dan. There were a couple of races last year when horses took the race to him, and he did not run well in those races. And it feels like Life is Good is taking the race to him in here. We'll see how he stands up to it.
If there is a prolonged pace duel, you're going to want to look for someone from the back of the pack to maybe upset the whole apple cart, or at least split the 2 favorites and maybe make the exacta and the race playable. Maybe it's Chess Chief, the number 2, just won the Tenacious at the Fairgrounds, going 1 mile and a 16th with a 95 buyer. Now, I've never thought that this horse is really a true Grade 1 horse. He's more of a Grade 2, Grade 3 type. I mean, he got walloped in the Clark. He got beaten the Lucas Classic by Knicks Go. Jockey Club Gold Cup, not so good, but maybe he'll get the right setup.
Yeah, fair enough. I think he might get the right setup too. He ran fine last time. More game than anything else, getting the job done against a weaker bunch. I sort of looked at him the way that you were laying it out there, and they've given him some shots in some bigger races. He's not close to good enough. It doesn't feel like he's going to be one of the really big prices in here either. So if I was going to try to split the 2 favorites or even maybe take a shot against them, I don't think it would be with Chess Chief.
Well, then maybe Stiletto Boy, who chased Knicks Go in vain in the Breeders' Cup Classic. He finished fifth that day, and then he faced Flightline, who has displayed freakish talent in his career in the Malibu last time out. Now, while beaten by Knicks Go in the Breeders' Cup Classic, not a ton of pressure for Knicks Go that day. Could be a different scenario, could help Stiletto Boy.
Yeah, I guess it could. I mean, I thought he was one of the horses, I guess you could try to make, some kind of a case for. All in all, I thought he got a pretty good trip in the Breeders' Cup, and he was never a real factor in there. But obviously, you don't really care about his last race too much. He could never win that one. He's got a couple of figures that I guess would give him a chance to be on the board here. Another horse, I would want a pretty big price if I was going to use him.
Here's Life is Good. He's only tasted defeat once in his career. That was by a neck to top sprinter Jackie's Warrior off a long layoff in the Allen Jerkins. He won in very easy edition of the Kelso 2 starts back. And here in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, he took no prisoners, did Arad Ortiz. He went right to the front, and he is drawing off as much the best. 109 buyer speed figure in only his sixth lifetime start. The question is, can he sit off a horse the caliber of Knicks Go and go get him? Will he attempt to sit? Because he's been on the lead in all of his races.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to sit in here, and I think it would be a mistake if they did try to sit. Listen, again, as you've been, sort of alluding to, there's a chance that the two favorites just go after each other here, get involved on a wicked pace, and it sets the race up for somebody else. I think that's a valid way to look at it, Dan. I'd be surprised if somebody could really run these horses down, because I just didn't see the alternative. I think Life is Good is going. He's a really fast horse. I get it. The Kelso, a one-turn mile against nobody, and he won very easily. And then that Breeders' Cup where he just got to the front. He was way too good for those horses. I just want to point out one thing, Dan. This horse was obviously really talented early last year and was the best three-year-old before the injury. The last two races, though, something that you want to take note of with Life is Good, no drifting. This is a horse who had a bad tendency to be getting out through the stretch of all of his races. No drifting in the Kelso, no drifting in the Breeders' Cup. It feels like Pletcher's gotten this horse straightened out. And I expect him to even take a step forward in this race.
Very lightly raced. Still, it's scary. Maybe a little bit of upside potential. It's Pletcher at Gulfstream, where he has a remarkable percentage. Before we move on to the rest of the field, I want to throw up the formulator fact for Knicks Go that I neglected to mention when discussing him. It's a really big number for Knicks Go. Domestic shippers, 2 to 4 months, routers. It's only 7 for 9, a $3.80 ROI. Last out winners. You get sharp, you keep them sharp. Let's move on, though, to a horse that's going to try to upset the apple cart in Empty Tomb. And Empty Tomb looks like a very prescient claim back for $80,000, Mike. They got a win for him 2 starts back, and then he ran in this race, the Queens County last time out at Aqueduct, going 1 1/8, and he was part of the pace in here, and he's pretty game to finish second. The problem is, and I know the pace was hot, and it's set up for a closer, he's going to get outfinished by a 42 to 1 shot. So the problem is, if he isn't able to outfinish Forewarned, how is he going to get these 2 big names? And B, he kind of likes to be close to the pace, and he ain't getting close to the pace with the 2 big names in here.
Yeah, right. I mean, there's a lot working against him. I don't blame these connections for, taking a shot at a big purse here for a horse who's run the 2 fastest races of his life in his last 2 starts. But he did that while using his speed, Dan, and it feels like using his speed in here is not going to turn out well. It's also worth pointing out that, as game as he was last time, he was contesting the pace with Backside of the Moon. And I love Backside of the Moon. He's a really nice horse, but he's not anything like the 2 favorites in here.
I want to give Mark Cassey a lot of credit for what he's done with Sir Winston, the winner of the Belmont Stakes in 2019. He's resurrected his career up at Woodbine over a synthetic track in recent races. First or second in his last 4, including this win, the Grade 3 Valedictory, going his preferred 1.5 miles. And he made an early move into this race, and he grinds it out, and he's very game to win over a solid horse in Frosted Over. This might be the closer. 1.5 miles could be short for him, but this might be the closer that could benefit if the 2 favorites hook up. And if you know anything about Sir Winston, Mike, there's no policy of appeasement here. He is going to be fighting on the beaches of Hallandale, and he will never surrender.
Yeah, he's an interesting horse. So I feel like a lot of people will sort of look at the race that way, Dan. I mean, he is a Belmont Stakes winner from off the pace, and whether he took advantage or not that day, he did. but he still won the race and is a classic winner. And I do think he's come back in really good form. It's interesting because I liked it when he returned in 2020. He came back, I thought, with two really good performances before he only managed two other starts that didn't turn out that well. And now he's come back again. He came back again at the end of last year with four really good performances. So we know that he can still run. He's going to have some pace in front of him here. I'll expect him to be trying to factor in this race late.
20-1 on Title Ready, the number 7 for trainer Dallas Stewart. Third, 2 starts back, going a 1-turn mile. Maybe the pace wasn't run to his liking last time out. Personally, I don't think he's at his best on a muddy track. And if you want to throw out his last 2 races, even though he ran okay in both and say that's not the best Title Ready, you can go back to his Louisiana 4 starts back almost a year ago, actually over a year ago, and he came from off it to win. I think he's a little bit outclassed, but he does have the right running style.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, he does have the right running style. Maybe he can get a piece. And he has run some really good races along the way, Dan, but he is, he's a horse now. He's 7 years old with almost 30 starts behind him. He's a mid-90s kind of horse. A mid-90 is not going to get the job done in here, but maybe he can get a piece of this.
Endorsed gave Code of Honor a pretty good run in the 2020 Grade 3 Westchester, and since then it's been kind of an in-and-out career. He was claimed by Maker for $100,000 at Saratoga. They're still seeking the first win, but they did get a graded placing last time out at Gulfstream. Let's watch Endorsed in the Mr. Prospector. This race going 7/8 of a mile. He is the beaten favorite in this race. We're going to see him alter course to the far outside. He's on his left lead. He changes over, and he will come with a good run. I'm not sure if this was the strongest edition of the Mr. Prospector. The 4th place finisher got beaten his next start, a $25,000 starter with a 92 buyer. I think that's his best distance, 7/8, a 1-turn mile. Now he's stretching way out and stepping way up.
Yeah, that wasn't a very strong running of the Mr. Prospector, and it was just more of the same for Endorsed. A horse who, made a little bit of a run, but just could not get there. It feels like this horse never gets there. I was a fan of his early on, Dan. I thought there was a chance he could turn out to be pretty good, and it just, for whatever reason, it hasn't happened. I don't mind them stretching him back out for this race. I liked it when they cut him back, but I don't mind them stretching him back out either. I just feel like he's way too hard to trust in a race like this.
It's nice to see Team Toner have a horse with the number 9 Commandeer, and talk about a potential lottery ticket. These connections bought this horse for $95,000 last summer. They've won 2 allowance races with him, and now they're running for $3 million. He did get a great setup last time out at Churchill Downs over a sloppy track at a big price. One of the horses he beat has come back to win twice, 1 stakes race, but both of those races were on turf.
Yeah, I liked his performance last time. The pace was there for him, but he put in a really game late run in that race to get up when it looked like the runner-up on a clear lead there past mid-stretch. It looked like he was home free, and I like the run this horse put in to close him down. I think he's run well in both of his races for Toner, and I guess, Dan, you just take him back and you make one run and you try to get a piece of this.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup. We're both going to go with Life is Good. It's going to be a fascinating race from the start. In a perfect world, they just hook up at the 7/16 and take it all the way down to the wire in a thriller. That's the way I'm looking at it. Maybe Life is Good gets the edge.
Yeah, I prefer Life is Good. I think anybody who watched any of our videos of the Knicks Go races throughout last year knew I wasn't going to take him in this race. I just want him to prove it to me, Dan. When somebody makes him race, Life is Good's going to make him race. If Knicks Go can hold him off and win this race, I'll give him all the credit that is due to him. But I much prefer Life is Good in this race, and I just couldn't get to the closers.
4163 for Mike, 4126 for me. It's the Saturday race of the day on a star-studded Saturday afternoon card at Gulfstream Park. It's World Cup Saturday. Play the card with your DRF Bets account. Good luck.